News and weather station. Voted the best sports operation in Ohio and West Virginia by the Associated Press. Now, News 9 Sports.
Welcome back to the Big Show. Our high school football previews continue tonight with a look at the Blue Eagles of Magnolia.
Magnolia narrowly missed the Big Show in '97, losing in the semifinals at Grafton. It'll be hard to replace a half-dozen versatile performers from that 10-3 club. But the Eagles retain enough talent to be amongst the elite once again. Team-wise, they're not big, but there are a lot of sturdy bodies out here.
We've had a great weight room all winter, great weight room all summer, and it seemed like the kids were real together and real focused, and I just feel an air of confidence amongst my players.
Their fearless leader is the last member of the Caesar gang, Bubba, who brings a brutish mentality to both the offense and defense. The tailback is cat-quick Jamie Long. Jonathan Ricciardi and Chad Miller are the wideouts molded in the Air Caesar tradition. Josh King is a big 6'3", 225-pound tight end. Up front, you have the likes of Charles Hubbard, Matt Hott, and Danny Wright, all two-year starters. Absent on this day was big lineman Todd Licklater, who's been nursing a tender knee. Defensively, you have Derek Palmer, an All-Stater, who led the Valley with 17 sacks. Jason Knight and Matt Polisco are also vets on the defensive side. Their biggest concerns, zero depth, and big power teams might give them trouble. For WTOV 9 Sports, I'm George Kellis.
Thank you, George. Coming up tonight at 11.
Why not? Derek Caesar going to the air, finding Jonathan Ricciardi. Ricciardi, a gain of about 12, first down. 4th and 2 now. Man, oh, they jumped off sides. That's going to keep the Magnolia drive alive, and into the end zone go the Blue Eagles. Touchdown, 7-0 Magnolia at that point. Magnolia defense strong tonight. Hillbillies going nowhere. The state has a problem enough. You don't call yourselves the Hillbillies. Magnolia then, another stop. Well, let's go there on the tackle. It's Magnolia. Impressive again tonight. 14-0 is your final. The Blue Eagles winning again. Coach Caesar has them playing.
7-0 Magnolia in the second quarter. Derek Palmer comes up with the sack. Very next play. Palmer again racking the quarterback up. The next play to end the half. Jason Knight, look at him work the tackle. He owns the quarterback, drags him down. The half ends, and he does some pro wrestling thing here. Yeah, that's great. Coach Caesar walks into the locker room with a 7-0 lead. Final play of the game. Palmer and Adam Kuhn get together for a sack. Your final score, Magnolia wins over the Man Hillbillies. Your final score is 14-0.
Second down and 8 for the Lumberjacks. Magnolia's 26-yard line.
And short gain. So it'll be 3rd and long for the Valley Lumberjacks. And the most fascinating thing about this, Ty, is that Valley's offense, I mean, these guys are packed so close together in this power stack eye that they run that you wonder where they ever get room to maneuver, but they do. I mean, it's obvious that eventually they just keep pounding like a jackhammer on concrete until the concrete gives way, but Magnolia is certainly a pretty high caliber opponent right here. Here you can see on 3rd down, that's a first down, and that's what happens. They just carry a load of people, and pretty dangerous stuff right there when you got a guy like Jonathan Loy at 6'1", 230 pounds, a fullback.
George, just the old flying wedge that you used to see on some of the kickoffs that they just V-block in there and give to the big man going up the middle of the ball on the ground.
Magnolia has recovered in Valley territory at the 30-yard line.
Big break for the Eagles, George, right off the bat here. They're taking the ball over on the 30-yard line of the Lumberjacks. One thing that the Lumberjacks do not want to do tonight is get into a scoring match here with the Blue Eagles.
Magnolia's only given up 1 score in 3 games. Ravenswood mustered up 6. That's it. The other 2 games were shutouts. Pass in and out of the hands of Jonathan Ricciardi and incomplete. So Derek Caesar comes right out humming it. And this is the one thing that Valley does not see a lot. At the level, Class A level in West Virginia, you're not going to see too many teams that air it out. And Magnolia has a history of doing that pretty effectively.
And really what's even tougher, George, is that how could they prepare for it in practice? I mean, they really couldn't get a look with some of their younger kids doing this against them.
Exactly.
They had to get ready for this game strictly by film work and scouting preparation.
2nd down and 10, Magnolia at the Valley 30. Early moments of the first quarter on a delay. The ball carrier is Jamie Long. And Long will get about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
From the 27-yard line, George, down here, I'd say that Coach Caesar's not going to be really too nervous here about picking up this yardage on 1 down. He can really be patient and go for 2 plays to pick up this yardage here. But knowing Coach Dave, he'll go for it.
Just want to alert our producers in the truck that at this point we have no video available to us. Those of you watching on the tube will obviously be able to see the replays. There's the pitch. And it's going to be short of the 1st down. Good defense. Option right with Bubba Caesar. And we'll see if they're in a 4-down situation right here. I would presume that they are.
They're inside the 25-yard line, George. Going to be too far to kick it, so Coach Caesar is sending in a play right now with Chad Miller, one of the senior flankers he has on the ball club. So we're definitely going to see him going for it at this point in the ball game.
Valley hasn't been too shabby on the defensive side of the ball either, and that's where this thing will be decided. This is not going to be a 38-35 game. Caesar is back on a deep drop, has plenty of time. 1st down, and it is Jamie Long.
Little delay out of the backfield there, George. He just circled down over the middle after the linebackers dropped out of the way on the tight ends crossing there and looking for the curl zone. And Jamie was just able to slip through the tackle spot there, and Derek very patiently. And the nice thing for Coach Caesar on the sideline, he's not seeing pressure on his quarterback.
Well, right there, they weren't able to get any pressure whatsoever on Caesar. 1st down, Magnolia at the Valley 13-yard line.
Derek,
here he comes, and a good defensive pursuit, but he bounces off people and gets a couple of yards.
We got a flag, George, for coming in late.
Valley had a chance to wrap him up for a loss of yardage as they diagnosed that play. But this is going to turn into a real nightmare for Tom West and company, as this will go half the distance to the goal line.
As Derek took on the first 2 tacklers there, and he's lost his balance. He was going to the ground, then one of the Valley boys came in kind of late there.
No.
So, as George alluded to earlier, you folks out there watching any instant replays, we're sorry we cannot talk about them, but you're seeing them and we're not.
At the present time, we've just got a minor technical glitch. We'll get that solved. 1st and goal at the 5-yard line, and Magnolia wants to line up in the I formation, but the officials are taking a time here.
2nd down.
They hand it off, and it's going to be a Magnolia touchdown.
Derek Palmer.
Derek Palmer, the ball carrier, a 5'11", 190-pound senior. Nothing fancy, a little quick trap to the inside. Magnolia is on the board first. (6-0) Blue with 8:08 to go in the first quarter.
Derek Caesar attempt the extra point here, George.
You cannot drop the ball on the ground. against an opportunistic defense, and Magnolia with the point after. Caesar kicks it through there. Takes a 7-0 lead.
Jonathan Ricciardi holding on that extra attempt there for the Blue Eagles.
So this is a great start for Magnolia because they won the coin toss and deferred. We're going to take a break. 7-0 Blue. We'll be back to New Martinsville right after this.
Lisa Shepard would like to wish both teams in tonight's game good luck. State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Sounds Incredible Music Store and Recording Studio in New Martinsville offers instrument sales, repairs, lessons, a professional recording studio, and more. Call Sounds Incredible now about our winter specials.
Now in our 62nd year, Iams Funeral Home is New Martinsville's only locally owned and operated funeral home. We at Iams salutes both teams in tonight's game.
It's Vinyl Days at Wheeling Distribution Center. Come in and see how far vinyl replacement windows have come. Have you seen the new look of oak on the inside? We have it. How about the choice of interior grid, including brass? We have it. Several colors, styles, and more. We have it. Also ask us about our custom-made shutters. 9 colors and made for the height you need. Windows, shutters, and more. We have it at Wheeling Distribution Center. We're not a trade secret anymore.
Whiteside Auto Dealer Special Event Sale. Huge rebates, giant discounts, low interest rates. Hurry, sale ends Saturday at 5.
For over 40 years, Riggenbach has been the first choice for tile and carpet. Good luck to all the players, cheerleaders, and band members this season.
Best of luck to the Valley Lumberjacks and Magnolia Blue Eagle students and both your academic and athletic endeavors. From Dr. Edward M. Watson, orthodontist.
This week's WTOV9 High School Football Game of the Week between Valley and Magnolia is brought to you by Wheeling Distribution Center, Bill Forbes, Chevrolet, Chrysler, Plymouth Dodge, Iams Funeral Home, Ormet Credit Union, Quality Aluminum Products, and Vigio Ford Lincoln Mercury Toyota.
Magnolia 7, Valley nothing on the WTOV9 High School Game of the Week Part 2. We've got a triple header for you this weekend, and we'll be talking about the other one, which will be later on tonight, as you'll have the opportunity to view the Edison Wildcats and the Bel Air Big Reds. Action last night, of course, the Weir High Red Riders and the Brook Bruins. 7-0. Magnolia is in pretty good shape here because they deferred on the coin toss. They'll get the ball to start the third quarter, and disaster struck early for Valley. They fumbled the football in their own end, and Magnolia quickly capitalized, go up 7-0.
Very quickly as Derek Palmer gets ready to put the ball back into play. Dave McDiffett and Joey Jeffries deep for the Lumberjacks. Off the side of his foot, but a great roll for him. McDiffett.
Not very much on the return as the Blue Eagles are there.
Inside the 20-yard line, George, about the 17, where the Lumberjacks will start. The Blue Eagles definitely are controlling the field position early. And we have a Lumberjack down. I believe it's the ball carrier.
Well, Valley's had a great run in the 90s. It's been absolutely remarkable what they've done. 4 consecutive visits to the state finals. But in this particular instance, they probably are playing the toughest opponent that they have faced either in the postseason or the regular season during this decade in Magnolia. And that's a pretty tough assignment to go up against a very, very solid top 3 ranked AA opponent. Even if you are a small school big timer as Valley is, Magnolia, when they've got it rolling, they can be a pretty dangerous entity here.
Yes, they can, even though the numbers for the Blue Eagles down here on the sideline are not great in stature, but boy, they sure play awful good football down here for Coach Dave.
Well, that's interesting, Ty, because you've got 11 helmets on the field and 11 helmets on the sidelines. That doesn't add up to a whole lot.
No, it doesn't. What that adds up to is you have nobody standing around in practice, and if you do happen to have somebody that's banged up or not be able to practice that night because of an illness or something, you better have an assistant coach that's kind of young with a little bit of gumption in him to throw a helmet on him, let him get out there and mix it up a little bit, or put him way out wide and tell him to stay out there out of the way.
Well, we're still trying to be able to see the number of the fallen lumberjack, and that quiets this very large overflow crowd quickly.
Both head coaches are going out there, George, to check him out. There's Coach West coming out to check on him, and there's Coach Caesar coming out to meet him to check on the condition of the young man.
Well, there certainly has been a lot of anticipation. I mean, between these two communities, it was almost like the Ohio State-West Virginia game in terms of the excitement leading up to this. And right now, Magnolia leads 7-0. We have an injury timeout with 8:01 to play in the first quarter. This is high school football on WTOV TV 9.
Congratulations, News 9, for being chosen Best Newscast in West Virginia by the Associated Press.
Seasons change. The green grass in summer. Crimson and gold leaves of fall. Crystal and white drifts of snow in winter. And the pastels of flowers of spring. Enjoy the beauties of nature through the comfort and security of Armaclad windows. Beauty built to last since 1874.
Now in our 62nd year, Iams Funeral Home is New Martinsville's only locally owned and operated funeral home. We at Iams salutes both teams in tonight's game.
WTOV9 is proud to salute outstanding students at Magnolia High School. This week we salute Matt Hott, football, wrestling, computer technician. Josh Watson, senior class vice president, National Honor Society president, cross-country state champion. Cara Day, student council president, National Honor Society, varsity cheerleader. Cody Corliss, senior class president, West Virginia TSA state president, varsity tennis. Scott Ferguson, vice president, local TSA, Mu Alpha Beta treasurer, computer technician. WTOV9 salutes all the students at Magnolia High School.
You have so many commitments in your life and so many decisions to make about your future and theirs, like buying a house, saving for college, making investments, or planning for retirement. At Ormet Credit Union, we're committed to knowing current trends in finance and committed to sharing these methods with our members to help you make better financial decisions. So whether you're college-bound, raising children, or planning for retirement, let Ormet Credit Union help you find financial success, because our commitment is you.
Valley for the second time on offense. And I think somebody left early off the right side of their interior line, and they may be strapped back further than where they're starting here, which is the 17-yard line.
Yes.
What's fascinating when you look at Valley line up is obviously that it looks like a sardine can with a lot of big bodies in it.
Well, you know, a phrase, George, that is thrown around an awful lot on TV now are the numbers in the box. And normally you're referring to the defense about numbers in the box. Well, that same thing now can apply to the Valley O. They have 11 people in the box.
As you look at this, I mean, you can see there is no one split out on either side. And there's a very limited confined space. It's pretty much the type of offense that Youngstown Cardinal Mooney runs and has been very effective in doing so. And it's all predicated on big people up front wearing down the opposition and large running backs finding small openings and then punishing people.
Yes, and he's been carrying on a tradition there, that fullback spot. Most schools with a man like this would be a tackle or something, but at Valley, their big man gets put in that fullback spot. Here's an option.
Almost got away. Good pursuit to the outside. This is what Magnolia has done so well in the first 3 games of this season, is pursue the football. Again, their numbers are limited, but the quality, it's like if you're talking about steaks, they don't have, in terms of quantity, one of those 32-ounce T-bones. This is an 8-ounce filet mignon you're looking at out here. It's real high-cut quality beef.
And you're licking your chops.
7-0 Blue, 7:18 to go in the first quarter, and this is not Valley's ideal scenario, is the 3rd and 10. And they give it off to the inside guy, and it's hard to even identify who's got the football until they unpile, because everything is a mass of bodies when Valley's operating this offense.
Yes, that was the big fullback again, Jonathan Lloyd, that you alluded to earlier, at 6'1", 230 pounds, just behind that flying wedge up the middle there, trying to pick up the yardage. On the previous series, he was successful to pick up the yardage on the 3rd down. This time he wasn't. They're going to look at now at a 4th and a long 4 from the 24-yard line.
You ever seen one of those movies where somebody is trying to get away from a pursuer running through a very heavy crowd in Manhattan? That's what it looks like here. High snap, obviously, and the kick.
Ingold kicking to Caesar.
Bubba decides to lay low with it around the 40-yard line. I guess we couldn't talk about it last night very much. I guess Bubba missed some practice time this week. We can talk about it now.
Yes.
It was kind of secretive over the course of the week. Dave didn't want to talk about it a whole lot, but Derek had something with an ankle, I guess. And
slight twist, and you got to get him ready for game nights.
1st and 10. Magnolia certainly had the edge, not only on the scoreboard here early, but also in terms of field position. There are 2 starts at the 30 of Valley and at their own 40.
Long fade.
Here's the long ball, Ricciardi, almost.
Off his fingertips. Double coverage deep. They had 45 covering short for the Valley Lumberjacks. Tim Wilcoxon covering deep down there was number 28, Joey Jeffries.
Joey Jeffries, good man-to-man coverage on the outside with Jonathan Ricciardi, who's the deep go-to guy for Dave Caesar and company. 2nd down and 10, Magnolia.
Little counter.
Not much running room. Good job by the Lumberjack defensive unit.
Danny Boer, big number 56 in there. One of the juniors there for the Lumberjacks, stepping in that hole in that little counter trap action there. Going to bring up 3rd and 8 now for the Eagles.
3rd down and 8. And the difference between the way these 2 offenses are designed is the 2 wideouts, which are on either side of the field, you'd need a megaphone to talk to one another, whereas when Valley has the ball, their 2 ends could whisper in each other's ears.
Yes. Derek Caesar back to throw.
Caesar looking for somebody over the middle. Ricciardi gets loose inside the Valley 40 and down to the 35-yard line in a very late developing pattern.
I tell you what, George, give credit to the Blue Eagle line, because that was going to be a 15-yard curl, and when Ricciardi curled there, the outside corner there had dropped back in his lap, and he had no place to go. As Derek Pump gave him the ball, Ricciardi realized that and just drifted the inside, and Derek had the time to pick him up for the 1st down to the 35-yard line. Shotgun.
Caesar throws, has a man wide open. It's another 1st down. Ricciardi inside the Valley 20 and down to the 19-yard line as the Big Blue roll on here as we get to the 5-minute and 13 seconds of the first quarter. It's 7-0 Magnolia, driving for more.
Yes, George, we had double wides out there on the shotgun with Derek on the half roll to it. Ricciardi was a split man. He just went 18 yards and curled along the sideline, and Derek put it in his breadbasket. Trips with a split. Derek on a quarterback draw.
And he slides in safely for no gain.
I understand he is quite a baseball player, so I guess he does know a little bit about the slide there.
Baseball's as much of the family persona.
Oh, that's the genes. That's the genes. I recall it's been several years ago now, but Dave and I played together in the Sandlot ball when we were both a little bit younger, I would hope, for the Shea Side Civics, and Dave was quite a baseball player. Loved the game and still loves the game.
2nd down and 10. High snap. Caesar, I don't know, that
he lost
is going to be ruled incomplete.
Ball just slipped out of his hand, George. He was looking Ricciardi. Ricciardi curled down inside the 10-yard line, and it was open deep, as we hear some cat calls from the far sideline, but the ball definitely slipped out of his hand as he was throwing the ball forward.
3rd down and 10. Magnolia with the ball on a 7-0 lead as they call a timeout. See, I think that this is one of the advantages Magnolia has in this game, is on 3rd and 10, they can do some things.
It's a normal down.
And Valley is not comfortable with that. All right, we'll be back right after this. Magnolia up 7-0.
A salute to both teams in tonight's game from everyone at New Martinsville Giant Eagle. From one group of great people to another, go teams! Visit Industrial Lighting at our new location, 501 3rd Street along Route 2, for all your lighting and electrical needs.
Are you tired of this? I don't blame you. I'm Dan Shea at Wheeling Distribution Center, and we're proud to introduce to you vinyl fencing. It's maintenance-free, and you'll never have to paint again. We have 12 styles, 3 colors, and many sizes to choose from. And all this with a 20-year warranty. Remember, your expense ends when your fence is installed. You can see it all right here at Wheeling Distribution Center. We're not a trade secret anymore.
Watch News 9 Sports Friday on WTOV 9.
Sports Friday!
Hey, aren't you the dog who sells tacos?
See.
Cool. Hey, can you do any tricks? I can beg, roll over, and play dead.
Your tricks are silly. I make 200,000 tacos disappear a day. How's that for a trick?
I'm the corporate spokesdog for Bill Forbes Chevrolet Chrysler. We sell lots of new and used cars and trucks. Let me show you where I work. Here's our new cars and trucks. And we keep over 100 used cars and trucks. I think this is my boss's favorite car because he said this was a real dog.
Ay, Chihuahua, this gringo dog has a lot to learn. For hiring such a common dog, bless you, Bill Forbes. Hasta la vista, baby.
Oh, yeah. It was nice to meet you, too. I guess I should have shown him a compact car. Oh, well, time for a siesta.
Number 1 Ohio State faces Missouri. Texas battles Kansas State, plus other regional action Saturday.
Don't miss number 1 Ohio State Saturday at 3:30 on WTOV 9.
George Kellis and Ty Fleming from New Martinsville. 7-0 Magnolia. They have a 3rd and 10. Well, this is an interesting formation.
That's one of his shift formations, George.
Caesar looking, throws. The ball is incomplete. Ricciardi, the intended man, inside the 10-yard line, and it's 4th down, and I don't believe they'll bring any field goal units on here. They're going to go. 4th down, 10 yards, ball at the Valley 20.
It would be a 37-yard field goal, George, and watching the pregame, that was in Derek's range, but Coach Dave was getting ready to send a play in here from the sideline with Chad Miller, so they're going to be going for it.
2 veteran coaches, Dave Caesar, upwards of 150 wins plus, and Tom West, who won his 200th career game here recently. Caesar throws complete inside the 10-yard line and a 1st down at the 6. Chad Miller made the catch. And again, they convert on a 3rd down. or make it a 4th down.
4th down there, George, and he picked out the big target to throw to there. Chad Miller is 6'2", 185-pound senior, just went down and curled outside the corner out there, and he had time to get on, again, that half roll. They're getting time because Valley is in the mode right now of only rushing 3 to 4 people max and dropping everybody off, trying to get into the passing lanes there, and Derek so far has been able to find the man in the open.
1st and goal, ball at the 5.
Timeout, Blue
Magnolia
Eagles.
wants a timeout.
The coaches on the sideline saw something in that formation they did not like on that play, George, because they were screaming timeout as soon as they went to the line of scrimmage.
4:07 to play in the 1st quarter. Magnolia 7, Valley nothing. Well, just a few things we can look for here over the weekend. We have college football, Missouri and Ohio State later this afternoon. Game of the week number 3, Edison and Bel Air at 11:30 tonight following the newscast.
George, what's Blair up to on their consecutive regular season streak?
32. The last time that Bel Air lost a game tie was that game you and I saw at Martins Ferry, the 10th game of the 94 season, when
they were going for their
Little Mac McFarland went berserk for Ferry that night. But
that was when Bel Air was going for their first undefeated season that night.
That's right. And if Ferry had not beaten them that night, then Bel Air right now would be in the mid-40s, because their previous loss to that was back during the 83 season at Newark Catholic, about midway through it.
93.
90, what did I say?
83.
93.
Here we go.
1st down and goal and touchdown.
Up through the middle goes big number 27, Derek Palmer, 5'11", 190 senior. Powers through the Lumberjacks for 6. Now, whatever the timeout was about on the sideline, George, it sure did work for the Blue Eagles, because the adjustment was made on the offensive formation there, and the line sure delivered for him here. As we take a look at it here, you'll see Palmer on a dive to the left-hand side, and you see the left-hand side of the Blue Eagle line just opening up the Red Sea for him. Ricciardi holding, Caesar up and good.
And Magnolia, with 4:02 showing in the 1st quarter, has jumped on top of Valley 14-0. And this is Tom West's worst nightmare, is to fall behind a big-time defensive opponent by 14 points, Ty, because there's not much they can do to open things up. They're not going to come out and start throwing the ball all over the football field. If they do that, they'll get themselves in more trouble than they're already in.
Yes, you got to stay. You got to stay with who brought you to the dance, George. And being down 14 at this point in the ball game, you know, as a coach on the sideline right now, your job is to get into your kid's head. Hey, it's only 2 touchdowns. We got a long way to go. We just got to remain within our game plan, be consistent, get some 1st downs here, get some field position going for us, and just have some breaks maybe fall our way for a change. Easy to say, George, when you're sitting up here.
Well, yeah, and the other thing you run into against Magnolia is they've given up 6 points in 3 ball games. Now you got to overcome a 14-0 deficit to a team that has been, to say the least, a bit stingy on the defensive side of the ball.
Just a bit. And another thing, George, that we really haven't alluded much to tonight is that the seniors on this ball club, you know, these guys, I recall 4 years ago watching these young men play together as a freshman ball club, and I was amazed at the talent they had as 9th graders, and they have just progressed and grown out into the senior class that Coach Caesar is looking forward to playing more than 10 ball games this year.
A warm and hazy evening in New Martinsville. And here we go with the kickoff. We now have replay power at our disposal. We can, well, they're putting some big hits on people on special teams.
Yes, they are.
Coming up on the kick team here and whacking some people out.
Adam Kuhn there, number 25 for the Blue Eagles. Right there, we'd look at him there on the defensive side of the ball, getting ready to go. Really got his pads loosened up on that one.
But Valley has some elbow room out at the 35-yard line. To this point, they've been strapped back pretty good.
A little confusion right now in the Lumberjacks. Not quite sure of their formation. We have guys pointing and telling each other the formation.
Well, I think they were actually going to split somebody out wide.
Yes, they were.
That's I think that particular player felt so lonesome out away from the line that he got a little confused there. It's so unusual to see them do that. First down and 10. 35-yard line. Indeed, there you see the pictures
of the overflow crowd.
The overflow crowd is right. This has been a long-awaited standing room in the making. And there are the Valley Lumberjacks and Tom West, who is in pursuit of only one man as the all-time winningest coach in Ohio Valley history, that the legendary George Strager.
Mr. Gooch.
14-0. Magnolia leads Valley, and the one thing that the Lumberjacks have got to figure out a way to do at this point is to avoid the 3 and out.
Yes,
they can't afford too much more of that.
No, they need some first downs here, George. We said, and they really need it for the kids' confidence. So the kids got to realize that they can move the ball against this Blue Eagle defense tonight. But right now that it looks like the Blue Eagles are up to the task so far of stopping that flying wedge up the middle.
I do not know if there are plans to sustain a long series with these two. That certainly would be a nice thing. Right now, it's a one-year deal.
No, they're going back to.
They're going to go play next year at Pine Grove,
yes,
so it's a 2-year contract, home and home. The inside handoff to Loy, and he doesn't get very far.
No, he doesn't. That time, the Blue Eagles come around from the outside, pointing backward. Matt Palesko was one of the men there who grabbed him from behind, back of the weights, was pulling him backward as big Josh King was hitting him up high in the front.
With this offense, if the line cannot get a surge, if they, in fact, are on their heels on a particular play, the play almost invariably is going to break down.
Yes, if it's a stalemate, it's for the Blue Eagles.
Two guys split left. The ball is on the ground, and there are nothing but blue jerseys in
Number
pursuit.
77 picks it up. Man, we just talked about Josh King takes it down inside the 5-yard line, and number 45 for the Lumberjack came along and saved the tackle there. Touchdown, Tim Wilcox.
I'd like to see that again. That snap looked like...
Did you see the ball?
It looked like it had Mazzola all over it. It squirted back there so quickly.
Josh Engel was there at the line of scrimmage looking down to try to find the ball.
It's already 5 yards behind him. I mean, that thing just squirted through there like wayward toothpaste coming out of the tube all over the mirror.
Palesko was directing King toward the ball right there. You see big Lyman's dream come true, picking that ball up, lumbering into the end zone, but didn't quite make it.
Dave Caesar's got to like his starting position. Look at this.
Same way.
And Magnolia covers it. So Valley can't win for losing. When Valley screws up, it hurts them. And when Magnolia screws up so far, it hasn't really cost the Blue a whole lot. Instead of first and goal at the 5, they'll have second and goal out at the 13-yard line.
Yes.
What do they put on that football? Those were two of the weirdest snaps on successive plays that I've ever seen.
That's the sweat, George, from the humidity. When the sun, you got a nice dry ball out there when you put it out there. Take a look at it right here. You see the ball. Whoa. That didn't go underneath Eric's hands. That went beside him.
Now there's a penalty marker down as we return to the action live. Illegal something. I need an interpretation of that signal there by Bill Walter. Did you recognize that?
I believe it's going to be an illegal.
Illegal participation.
Yes.
That means that they had 12 men on the field, and there's a difference between having too many men on the field and illegal participation. That means that the guy actually tried to participate in the play. He wasn't trying to get off the field. Pass is caught, I believe, but now we may get a holding call here against Magnolia, which would further deter their opportunity to go up by 20. And this is the best thing that could happen for Valley, because they have just had a miserable first quarter, and it looked like Magnolia was going to cruise on in for a third score that could well have been a nail in the coffin from which there's no way they could recover.
And George, the killer penalty on that for the Blue Eagles is that it's a spot foul, so the holding was back behind the line of scrimmage, so we're clear back down to the 33-yard line.
Second and goal from the 32. Magnolia 14, Valley nothing. 2.5 minutes on a turning clock first quarter. There you see Dave Caesar left of your screen.
And Chad Miller coming out of the ball game there, Georgia, made that fine reception on the sideline for naught.
Caesar with a lot of time. throws, and Ricciardi unable to get that paw up there. 3rd down and goal from the 32. And if they keep giving Caesar this much time to throw the football, he's going to find some people open sooner or later, I would think.
Yes, he is.
3rd down.
And this time, Derek's coming over to hear what Dad has to say personally as Chad Miller jogs onto the field with him. Be surprised now if Coach Caesar kind of maybe goes a little bit shorter, George, because of the depth of the Valley Lumberjacks. They're really dropping back their people deep on that situation.
Wideouts.
Try to throw underneath it.
4 of them split out all over the place. Here's Caesar trying to get away from the pursuit, and he does. Down the sideline. Good job by Caesar to elude the first wave of pursuers to the 22-yard line. A gain of 10. Dave McDiffett on the tackle for the Valley Lumberjacks. 4th down and goal, Magnolia from the 21-yard line.
Tell you what, George, I know Derek's one heck of a quarterback, but man, what a tailback this kid could make for somebody.
Well, that's really what he is, Ty, is a combination running back
slash quarterback.
More than any of the other Caesar boys, he fills that bill. I mean, he does both very, very well.
Well,
he's a very physical runner, too.
6 foot, 195. Quick hitch. We're going to have a double pass.
Caught, and Valley has held. All they had to do was keep him out of the end zone. It worked, but not for the necessary yardage, which Magnolia needed, and that would have been a touchdown. Otherwise, it's a turnover in terms of possession here to the Lumberjacks.
We'll see Caesar throwing the ball out wide to Ricciardi. Ricciardi throwing the ball down to Palesco.
He's got enough tricks in his grab bag, doesn't he, this guy? After all these years, he's picked up a few along the way.
The ball loose.
A massive humanity.
George, there's some Blue Eagles pointing the other way.
Well, that's...
And
no, are you
official.
kidding me? Oh, you got to be kidding.
Big number 77 come out of the pile there, jumping up and down. Josh King again. Looks like he might have got the second one of the night for himself.
Well, Valley started from their own 7. You'll excuse us, we don't have a replay. You couldn't see what happened in that mess anyway. That could have been larceny in there for all I know.
Well, right off the bat there was 2 Blue Eagles pointing toward their end zone. So you kind of figured there that they saw something happen real quick in there.
This is the twilight zone for Tom West and the Valley Lumberjacks this first quarter.
Caesar on a sneak. He's down inside the 3, George.
Well, just when it looked like Valley had dodged a cannonball,
they sure
here
did.
they are looking at the executioner's weapons once again. 2nd down and goal, Magnolia at the 2. This is about where they started to self-destruct on that last drive.
I'm sure that Coach West is going to be glad when these 40 seconds tick off the clock here and he gets to this second quarter. Maybe the nightmare will end here with the quarter break for him.
Not many teams are going to overcome a 3-touchdown deficit against this bunch.
No, George, especially whenever your offense is not suited for that type of behavior.
Broken down play. Caesar had to keep it himself. He turned to give it to somebody who wasn't there.
Like you said, there was definitely confusion. It looked like Derek was thinking a dive option. It looked like the tailback on that play. Take a look at it here. Derek turns to look, and there's no one there, so he just smartly turns upfield toward the hole, and coming from his defensive end spot,
Chad Anderson.
The Valley Lumberjacks, as you said, was Anderson, so that's going to be the end of the first quarter.
All righty, at the end of 1, Magnolia 14, Valley nothing. We'll be back to see if the Blue Eagles can punch it in one more time.
Now in our 62nd year, Iams Funeral Home is New Martinsville's only locally owned and operated funeral home. We at Iams salutes both teams in tonight's game.
WTOV9 is proud to salute outstanding students at Valley High School. This week we salute Stacia Rohde, varsity cheerleader, student council president, field commander. Daniel Lee Masters, football, National Honor Society senior class treasurer. Cheryl Henthorne, National Honor Society TSA national finalist, steel band member. Josh Ingold, varsity football, baseball, National Honor Society. Emily Boer, varsity cheerleader, National Honor Society TSA treasurer. WTOV9 salutes all the students at Valley High School.
At Biggio Ford Lincoln Mercury Team Toyota, we know folks such as yourself would like to see some of the old values in shopping for an automobile come back. Values like down-to-earth, friendly, and professional salespeople that take pride in helping you select the car or truck that's right for you.
We honor these values and will do the best we can to make your total automobile experience a pleasurable one. We know that our reputation rides with you. That's why at Biggio Ford Lincoln Mercury and Team Toyota,
satisfaction is standard equipment.
Barry Kessler, Crutchfield, and Taylor, justice for you.
In the 25 years since I've been practicing law, I've noticed the insurance companies are making it harder to settle claims, and we're having to take more cases to court. If you have a claim, call Barry Kessler, Crutchfield, and Taylor, and we'll get justice for you.
Barry Kessler, Crutchfield, and Taylor, justice for you.
On third down and goal, Magnolia tries to work the left side. Derek Palmer short of the goal line. So it'll be fourth down, and Valley is trying once again to stand up tall. And if they can hold Magnolia out of the end zone right here, they'd feel real good about it. I would wonder whether or not the Blue Eagles would want to kick the field goal here, but no way.
No, he's going right now, as you said, for that nail in the coffin. Don't be surprised if you see Derek going outside with the football.
Caesar keeps it, dives into the end zone, I believe. No, wait a minute, no call.
They're not putting him in, George. Official's waving in his arms and putting his foot down.
Short. My goodness. Give the Lumberjacks a lot of credit on defense, Ty. Look at this. They've had starting position. Magnolia at the Valley 30. Magnolia then from their own 40, which is the worst starting position they've had. The Valley 5 and the Valley 7. And the last two times with first and goal at the Valley 5 and 7 yard lines, they come away with nothing.
Here we go.
To the air. And incomplete.
Tipped there by one of the Blue Eagles up front, number 27 for the Eagles, Derek Palmer out there on the coverage. Like number 30 was the receiver out there for the Valley Lumberjacks. That'd be Daniel LeMasters, their wingback.
Well, I don't know how much of a factor this is, but Valley does have more bodies. So you figure if you could get out of this hole, get a score, Magnolia may not be as equipped as they'd like to be with a lack of depth as a four-quarter football team. They've been good so far. I mean, they're 3-0, and they haven't given up much. But they do not have much depth. Jonathan Loy, the ball carrier. And here's Valley facing a third and long again from deep in their own end.
Yes, the Magnolia defense there was still moving around, George, and luckily for them, they got set in time there to stop you on the short yardage, and there was a penalty on the play there, motion against the Lumberjacks, and Coach Caesar is sitting on the sideline there to decline the penalty. It's going to look now at third down and a 7 to go from the 5-yard line.
Yep. Opening moments of the second quarter, George Kellis and Ty Fleming from New Martinsville. 14-0 Magnolia.
That first quarter being played here at our end of the field, George, it sure was a lot easier to see things.
Well, it's very hazy out here. It's one of those hot, hazy, late summer nights.
It seems like it's got warmer as the evening went along. They're back to throw again.
And I think that was deflected.
Ingold looking out there in the flat.
Valley is totally out of its element in the passing game when they are forced to pass.
Yes.
Now, when they want to throw the football, when things are going their way and they got the running game going and they want to use the element of surprise to keep somebody honest, I've seen them use it very effectively.
They've been very successful with it.
You know, they complete a lot of balls, but when you're backed up in your own end like this and you're looking at third and a bunch, down 14-0, this is not really what they're looking to do.
And Derek Caesar standing on the 35-yard line.
The kick.
Ingles punt, nice punt away from him, going to roll out of bounds. George, what, midfield?
Pretty close to it, and that's a heck of a lot better situation than what Valley's been looking at the last couple of times they sent their defense out there.
Much. I tell you, they rose to the occasion. Give the Lumberjacks credit. They kept the Blue Eagles out of the end zone when it could have been disaster time.
All right, first down, 10, Magnolia. Their starting position, again, is superior, this time at the Valley 48.
Derek Caesar is up over the ball with Palmer at fullback and Long at tailback. It's 2 splits. Sprint draw.
Almost broke it big. The ball carrier is Jamie Long. You go ahead and talk for a second. I'm going to figure something out.
I see you doing some math there, George. That's what's scary up here. We'll take a look at it right here. Nothing more than just a sprint draw. You saw the lineman coming up to give the look of a passer to the defenders, and then with the fullback leading up through Palmer. Long trying to break the seam there, was tripped up after a gain of 4 yards. Going to bring up second down and a long 6 now for the Eagles from their 44-yard line.
Magnolia's average starting position on 5 possessions in this game is the Valley 30.
Oh, but George, hey, next time.
That's average.
I got my calculator in there if you need it.
I need
time.
help.
Okay, I'll bring it out.
Math was always one of my worst subjects. Caesar is not going to get far here. He all of a sudden took a step to his left, and it looked like he stepped into a hole full of concrete right
Yes,
there.
he did right there. It was just a single back in there with Palmer at the offset back to the left-hand side. He was just faking a slant dive back over the zero hole, the center hole. And as Derry come out of the fake there, the offensive tackle there, it was at a stalemate, and Derry just kind of stepped into the pile and went down. Going to bring up now 3rd and 7 for the Blue Eagles from the 45-yard line, just inside the 45.
You saw a picture of Mike Hiley there momentarily, the 5'11", 235-pound senior.
I think you're going to see him rolling left here, George.
And he is. Caesar on 3rd down and 7, throws complete for a first down to the 30-yard line. And again, it was Caesar with plenty of time
if we get
to allow Ricciardi to get open.
Hopefully our crew will give us another look at that one there, George, because if you look at the blocking back on the left-hand side, as you see Derek moving here, number 77 was in the backfield.
You can see there is not a white jersey anywhere near Caesar.
No, not when you put Josh King at that slot back at 6'4", 220 pounds with number 77 on him. It's kind of a giveaway. Hey, I'm coming this way. Do something about it.
First down, Magnolia.
There he is again.
At the 29-yard line. The pass is incomplete. Then there's a marker in the backfield, and we'll see what this is all about. Illegal procedure against the Blue Eagles, so they'll mark it back to about the 34-yard line. Dave Caesar having a little chit-chat there with Bill Walter.
Yes, because I don't believe Dave saw anything there illegal in that play or that formation for that there, but evidently Mr. Walters did, and whenever the man with the white hat on calls it, so be it.
Well, Magnolia comes up with some dandy formations, and that was one of them.
Oh, yeah,
that's there with people.
That's the second time,
field.
George. That's the play we saw earlier there. That, like you say, the big number 77 is in there for the extra blocker in the backfield.
Maybe the argument there was that they did not have enough men lined up on the line of scrimmage. It's hard to say. 1st and 15 from the 34. Second man over the left side. And it is Jamie Long. Might have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage.
Got a man down there, George, for the Lumberjacks. Holding that knee area there. You don't like to see that. You don't like to see injuries at all, but you just hate to see a guy going down holding the knee area. No, take that back, George. I think he's in the shin. He just might have got you. I think all of us have taken one in the shin on a coffee table or something and know that excruciating pain. So you can imagine.
Not to laugh, but I know.
Oh,
that's a good analogy.
Yes, and you can imagine there with some people stepping on there or kicking that with some spikes.
I don't think you have to be an expert at lip reading. There are some things with Dave. If we can keep the camera on him, you might be able to tell what he's saying, because he opens those jaws up pretty good when he starts chirping, man.
Yes, he did right there. Not quite
We're going to
sure
take a break with an injury timeout, Ty. It's 8:16 to go in the first half. Magnolia on top of Valley, 14-0 as you view it on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. We'll be right back.
Now in our 62nd year, Iams Funeral Home is New Martinsville's only locally owned and operated funeral home. We at Iams salutes both teams in tonight's game.
Seasons change. The green grass in summer. Crimson and gold leaves of fall. Crystal and white drifts of snow in winter. And the pastels of flowers of spring. Enjoy the beauties of nature through the comfort and security of armor-clad windows. Beauty built to last since 1874.
3A Homes continues to measure up with over 30 years of satisfied customers and award-winning service. Let us exceed your expectations. 3A Homes, Route 2, New Martinsville.
Hey, aren't you the dog who sells tacos?
See.
Cool. Hey, can you do any tricks? I can beg, roll over, and play dead.
Your tricks are silly. I make 200,000 tacos disappear a day. How's that for a trick?
I'm the corporate spokesdog for Bill Forbes Chevrolet Chrysler. We sell lots of new and used cars and trucks. Let me show you where I work. Here's our new cars and trucks. And we keep over 100 used cars and trucks. I think this is my boss's favorite car because he said this was a real dog.
Ay, Chihuahua, this gringo dog has a lot to learn. For hiring such a common dog, bless you, Bill Forbes. Hasta la vista, baby.
Oh, yeah. It was nice to meet you, too. I guess I should have shown him a compact car. Oh, well, time for a siesta.
Magnolia 14, Valley nothing. You're watching high school football on WTOV TV 9. Caesar under center. Throws on the run. It is almost intercepted.
Number 21, John Irving, made an excellent break on that ball there, George. And I was surprised that Derek threw that ball. You'll see him come right at you folks here in the living room because he had the containment broke, and you can see right here along the sideline that there are no white jerseys between him and 15 yards of green grass.
Therein lies one of the problems the defense has with Derek Caesar, Coach, in that when he's running toward the line of scrimmage, it freezes everybody. You don't know whether he's going to throw it. As you can see, he does that very well, throwing while on the run toward the line of scrimmage. So you can't commit to the pass, and it's pretty tough to back off because this guy will tuck it under and run downfield. So
and put some cleat marks up your jersey.
You got it. Throwback. Long arching pass is batted away. Good double coverage by the Jacks, who have really impressed me defensively since the early debacle got them in a 14-0 hole.
Derek trying to throw deep up the sideline. Long fade route to big number 88 again, Chad Miller. You'll see him here on a half roll. He stops now behind the tackle and throws back up the sideline as Miller is trying to make a fade up the end zone there, but no way was the Lumberjacks going to let him get behind them. So we'll look now maybe at Derek's first punt of the night.
Magnolia's modified its passing game from the early 90s when Mark was the quarterback, and they had the Fishers and some of those guys in their receiving core. Here's the kick.
Nice punch.
Dave's done a good job, I think, to accentuate the talents of Derek, which are different talents than what some of the predecessors had.
Ricciardi there down in the ball for the Blue Eagles about the 14-yard line, George, and the Lumberjacks again are inside the 20-yard line where you just don't like to start from.
Tom West would love, I think, to find a way to not have to start operating out in the shadow of his own goalpost for a change of pace here. But the way they're going to do that is to start moving the ball, and that's what they've got to do right here, and maybe send a message going in at halftime that they're here to play 48 minutes of ball with these guys.
Loy up the middle. And, George, you know what was unusual there in that formation, that the Twins went out wide for the Lumberjacks, and number 1 for the Blue Eagles, Jonathan Richardi, went out there with them, and nobody else.
You always need that large fullback in this offense, and they've had them, guys like Yoho and Manier and now Loy, kind of the big pounding type characters. As usually they'll load up with 3 guys in that backfield. Here's a pass opportunity anyway, and even if it was caught, it's a very, very short gain, and will bring up a 3rd down here for Valley.
That was Dan LeMasters, the wing back, who started on the left-hand side and went into a slight motion across the ball, and then this is the play-action dive inside to Loy, and Ingalls come up and threw it there for really a no-gainer. Going to bring up 3rd down and 7.
Well,
it is 3rd down,
it's a good learning experience one way or another for Valley to play an opponent of this caliber, because what you find is you find what you can do on 2nd and long and 3rd and long a lot of the time. You're not in that situation against 100 in some of those teams, but against this team you get a pick. And that's again where Valley gets out of its element when they're forced into 3rd and long and have to put the ball in the air. We mentioned it earlier. So
yes.
Magnolia will start again. Their field position just keeps getting better. I said their average start was a 30. They did a little better than that this time.
They're on
down
the 20,
to the 20.
so your math's going to have to change again.
You want to divide 170 by 6 for them? There's another look at it. Caesar was wide open.
That takes it down to the 28, George.
Was that where they were, the 28?
No, that's your average.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you're good. I like that. Figured that out in your head, too, didn't you?
Okay, we're looking there at number 21, the tailback, Jamie Long, powering off tackle there behind the fullback, Derek Palmer leading the way for him. Pick up 5. Going to bring up 2nd and 5 now from the 15 for the Blue Eagles.
Caesar in command of the matter at this point.
And let's see if Dave tries to make a statement here with his offensive line and see if they can just take the ball and put it in themselves.
And it's Long again. Long will be down close to the 1st down yardage.
Nice tackle.
He'll be short by a yard.
By Tim Wilcox of the Lumberjacks, bringing him down. Going to bring up 3rd down and a short 2, George. 5:30 remaining in halftime.
We keep saying it, but Valley has got to figure out a way to prevent Magnolia from getting this 3rd score. On the other hand, Magnolia will do everything in its power to do just that and put the Lumberjacks in a desperate situation. What do you do in that style of offense to try to come back from 3 scores down? It makes it virtually not impossible, but pretty close.
Like Coach Caesar just challenging his offensive line, staying in that I formation there and running the ball, George, between the tackles.
1st down Blue, I believe.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see if Dave just stays right now, George, in this formation with 5 minutes remaining in the half and let his people punch the ball up through the middle.
Gut check time again for the Valley defense.
They got to be getting tired, George. I mean, they're just getting, you always hear about the defense getting tired more so than the offense, because the defense is really taking the punishment of having the guys coming out really into them more so than the defense people are laying the old leather to the offensive people.
1st and goal, Magnolia at the Valley 9-yard line. This is a dead ball, whatever the situation is.
Had a man line up off sides there with the call to the sideline down on the Magnolia bench below us. Now going to bring up.
The Blue Eagles are doing a heck of a job of going down here, but then it starts to look like a yo-yo as they withdraw back in the other direction, and that's got to have Dave Caesar
frustrated,
a bit perturbed.
Especially, George, being the 4th ball game of the year. By now you hope that you'd have all these things out of your system there, and that is probably more the reason that Coach Caesar is upset than anything, just that the mental mistakes his kids are making.
1st and goal at the 14. Little pass and upended at the 10-yard line, back near the original line of scrimmage. Jamie Long.
John
2nd
Irvin,
down and goal.
Number 21 meets 21 right there to take him down. Take a look at it right here. You're going to see number 21 just coming out of the backfield there on a short out pattern as he turns up the monster man for the Lumberjacks. Number 21, John Irvin, their big hitter, was there waiting on him.
So was Kenny Griffith. Second and goal at the 10. They actually had it at the 9-yard line on first down before the penalty. Caesar looking to the short side. Has Long, and I believe is out of bounds just shy of the goal line.
Yes,
on the near side.
When you see the straight man waving his arms over his head, he's not putting him in the end zone. Take a look right here, folks. The people in front of us jumped up. We were blinded for a second there, so we're looking at this for the first time ourselves.
That's the same play they ran.
Right
there he goes out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. You saw the foot.
Into the ball game comes Danny Wright, one of the messenger guards, and out of the ball game comes number 21, the tailback. So we're going to see big number 77 probably being lined up as a back for him.
Third down and goal.
I'll tell you what.
And they're still not in there. You got to give Valley a lot of credit.
I tell you what, they did
These
a nice
guys
job.
have really gutted this thing out and made every yard inside the red zone difficult for Magnolia, despite the fact that Valley's facing a 14-0 deficit and a very difficult situation in terms of field position this whole half.
Yes, he did. I believe that was Danny Bohr from his defensive end spot there, number 56, 5'11", 5'10", 180 junior, had knifed in there to cut him down short of the goal line. 4th and 1.
If they don't, I would almost second guess this if they don't make it, Ty, because if they kick a field goal, then Valley got to score 3 times. Caesar's on the ground. We'll see where they mark this, or if he's in.
There's no calls being made yet. There they go up.
Now get the touchdown. A very late touchdown, but Caesar was underneath, and not by much. It took every ounce of energy to finally beat this Valley defense, but he did get in there.
He did cross the white line there before his knees went down to the ground.
20-0.
Ricciardi to hold for Caesar.
And now at least 3 scores will be required. Kick. Good.
Ricciardi got a nice pair of hands on him, George. Soft.
Goes up 21-0. 2 minutes and 40 seconds, the time remaining in the second quarter. So West Virginia's number 3 ranked Class AA entity, the Magnolia Blue Eagles, have surged out in front here.
Well, in front of them probably has to be Weirton.
DuPont is ranked number 1, and they are definitely the team to beat, no question. And you have Weir ranked number 2 and Magnolia ranked number 3. And I guess the dream scenario would be if somehow 2 and 3 would wind up at Wheeling Island Stadium.
Well, that would be nice.
Magnolia would be sweet, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes. If they can get themselves in the position to be separated throughout the pair-off playings. Of course, about right now, George, we all know the results of the Weirton-Brook game, which could go to a long way in determining the position that Weir's going to be in the top rankings there by the end of the season.
Oh, a standing O for the Blue Eagles from the home stands on the near side of the field.
It might have been for the Blue Eagles, or it might have been for the Blue Eagle cheerleaders who just threw souvenirs up here to all the fans too, George.
Were those little Channel 9 footballs?
All that commotion there was the people in front of us was shoving and trying to grab the footballs and the little megaphones that were being thrown up here at them. But I'm sure it was for the Blue Eagles on the field. 27, Derek Palmer, 5'11", 190 senior, ready to put the boot to it again with 2:40 remaining in the half.
Magnolia up 21-0.
Oh, boy. Ball's loose. Blue Eagles.
You gotta be kidding, man. Well, it's gone from the ridiculous to the sublime.
Somebody's not getting up.
That had trouble written all over it from the time it left the foot.
Oh, my. Did you see the hit that
Derek Palmer, who kicked the football, was the first guy down there to lay a lick on the man.
Oh, wow.
You know, I'm going to tell you what, Magnolia's had a lot of teams over the years that have been more finesse-oriented. This bunch is about as blue-collar as it gets.
Yes,
they are
George.
physical, man.
They love to put their nose in there and go at them.
Every kickoff has been an adventure in terms of whether or not there would be casualties.
Take a look at this, George. Mr. Palmer is going to love watching this on the replay, and I'm still not quite sure of that number.
Ooh. I mean, he got stopped to an absolute walk, and thank goodness he's up and moving. You got that right.
That Jeffries, George, number 28. Yes. Joey Jeffries getting up there after the collision there with Palmer. And as you said, George, earlier, now with 2:33 to go, one thing the Valley want to do was move the ball, but here are the Blue Eagles down on the 17-yard line.
And that
looking
poor
to put more.
defense is back out on the field. They're now add 17 to, oh my. Jamie Long, the ball carrier.
Clock will stop at 2:22 while we check out the flag here as we take a look at the replay. Number 21 here, Jamie Long coming at you. We have a holding call as we're watching under the replay here. As you see the Lumberjacks putting the leather twing, taking him down for a short gain. But again now, George, by being a spot power, we're backing up 10 yards from the, about the 19-yard line. We're probably going back up to the 29-yard line for the Blue Eagles.
Magnolia's average starting position now, Ty, is down to the Valley 26. I mean, this is amazing. Oh. They have started in their own territory only one time, Magnolia, and that was at their own 40. The rest of the time, they've been at the Valley 30 after a fumble, the Valley 5 after a fumble, the Valley 7 after a fumble, the Valley 48, the Valley 20, and the Valley 17. I believe there have been 5 Valley turnovers in this first half. 1 interception and 4 fumbles. Back. Sees, throws, ball caught.
Ricciardi in the middle of 4 white jerseys.
Very close to the first down at about the 15, make it the 14-yard line.
Take a look at it right here. This is a 2-man pattern with Ricciardi going down and curling, and the split end running a post pattern down the middle, and Ricciardi being the underneath man. Right there you see him going up for the ball as the white jerseys closed in on him, taking down 1:20 and counting remaining in the first half.
And you may have seen that Chad Wyckoff was the only guy that got within 3 or 4 yards of Caesar on the pressure. Caesar whirling. Throws with a man in his face. Caught down near the goal line by Jonathan Ricciardi. A 5'10", 155-pound senior. Certainly not a real big kid. But like you said earlier, Velcro hands.
Velcro hands, and he's a gnat out there, George, just scurrying around that football field. What quickness he's displaying. And, excuse me, 1 minute now, counting in the half. And Magnolia used those 2 timeouts, and they're down to 1 timeout remaining here in the first half.
First and goal, Magnolia at the 1-yard line, and the Valley defense is really up again it right here.
Blue Eagles taking their time, George, getting that play and coming out of there. See if they can power that ball into the end zone here. There goes Palmer, up and over. Derek Palmer.
Touchdown, Magnolia.
There's a hard young man right there, George.
Real hard. 27-0 with 40 seconds to go in the half.
5'11", 190 pounds. You got him there, George, 190 pounds. You got Caesar there at 195 as Derek Caesar is getting ready to kick out of the hold of Jonathan Ricciardi.
And 4 for 4. They can do no wrong. It's a good thing that Valley had those 2 great stands when Magnolia started at their 5 and then their 7 and didn't get in the end zone. And it's 28-0 after all. There you see the man they call Bubba.
The baby of the family. The baby of the family grew up to be a man.
We got a couple pretty good Kennedy Award candidates up here. And he's one of them.
Boy, I'll tell you what. George, you know, we talked a couple weeks ago there about Mr. Q up north compared to some of the people down south. I tell you
it's
what.
going to be difficult. Bubba, because he's a multi-talent, okay, is probably not going to get the kind of publicity that a guy like J.R. House is, who's going to get the national publicity for breaking some of those passing records. You know, you've got Ura, who's the incumbent and still playing at Morgantown and has 14 touchdowns in their first 3 games. You've got Quincy, who I think is as good a high school running back as I have seen in West Virginia in a long, long time. And then you've got this kid out here who certainly features a multitude of talents and different ways of creating problems. He's kicked 4 extra points. He's guided the offense both with the run and the pass. And on the other side of the football, he comes up and puts welts on guys.
And picked one off tonight.
And intercepted a pass, exactly right. And 40 seconds, that's what you call a well-rounded football player.
That's what we showed him going to the sideline there, sitting down the bench, grabbing a quick drink of water, one of the few times that he comes off the football field.
I'm going to tell you something. Magnolia's had some pretty good defensive football teams since, I'd say, about 1987, and this is one of them. And this outfit here can D it up, man.
And they don't have the, the huge bodies out there, George. But boy, they
get
got
after
the quickness.
They get after it.
Well,
the
nice
kick
boom.
is nice. And out of here. That'll come out to the 35-yard line.
Number 32 back there. Wise looked like Kenny Griffith.
The first half will hopefully come to a merciless close.
George, did that ball go out of bounds?
I believe
because
that
the way
it did.
he's talking, they're going to bring it out.
Yeah, I believe it went out
35.
of bounds. Yeah. So it's out to the 35 she comes. And
great field position.
You're right.
For
the
Lumberjacks.
Yeah, you can't expect it to be much better than that unless you're Magnolia. That's the thing.
That's a coach's dream, George, to have that kind of field position.
Think about this, and I don't want to get anybody confused, but Magnolia has had better field position than this in Valley's end the entire first half. And Valley's not in bad shape in terms of field position at their own 35. That's about as good as you could expect on any given possession. But in this game, Magnolia has lived deep in the Valley end, and as a consequence, made 4 trips to the end zone for a 28-0.
As we see Jonathan Lloyd there on that first down call, picking up 3 yards there, being stopped by the interior of the Blue Eagle defense led by number 56, Jason Raggett, up off the bottom of the pile there.
And I can say this, Tom West is a pretty stern disciplinarian.
Nice hit there by Adam Kuhn, George, young man we saw on a couple kickoffs ago making a pop.
As I was saying, Tom West is a very stern disciplinarian, and some people are going to be missing some ear parts at halftime. Your score at the midway point, Magnolia 28, Valley nothing. We'll be back with the Battle of the Bands after these messages.
Now in our 62nd year, Iams Funeral Home is New Martinsville's only locally owned and operated funeral home. We at Iams salutes both teams in tonight's game.
Little Green Acres Gift Shop, 1 mile out, West Virginia Route 7 in New Martinsville. The area's only exclusive dealer of Yankee candles and Cat's Meow. We also offer a huge inventory of concrete fountains and lawn ornaments.
Lisa Shepard would like to wish both teams in tonight's game good luck. State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You have so many commitments in your life and so many decisions to make about your future and theirs, like buying a house, saving for college, making investments, or planning for retirement. At Ormet Credit Union, we're committed to knowing current trends in finance and committed to sharing these methods with our members to help you make better financial decisions. So whether you're college-bound, raising children, or planning for retirement, let Ormet Credit Union help you find financial success, because our commitment is you.
In 1998, PPG Industries and its workforce proudly celebrate 55 years of safe operations and chemical excellence, providing quality life for the Ohio Valley and quality chemicals for the world.
For over 40 years, Riggenbach has been the first choice for tile and carpet. Good luck to all the players, cheerleaders, and band members this season.
WTOV9 is proud to salute outstanding students at Magnolia High School. This week we salute Matt Hott, football, wrestling, computer technician. Josh Watson, senior class vice president, National Honor Society president, cross-country state champion. Cara Day, student council president, National Honor Society, varsity cheerleader. Cody Corliss, senior class president, West Virginia TSA state president, varsity tennis. Scott Ferguson, vice president, local TSA, Mu Alpha Beta treasurer, computer technician. WTOV9 salutes all the students at Magnolia High School.
If you like the Olympics, there's only one place in the Ohio Valley you can see them in the next decade. WTOV9.
Halftime in New Martinsville, Magnolia 28, Valley nothing. Let us go down to the field and enjoy the pageantry of the Magnolia Blue Eagle Marching Band. Magnolia 28, Valley nothing. On the Bill Forbes Chevy scoreboard, we'll be right back.
Now in our 62nd year, Iams Funeral Home is New Martinsville's only locally owned and operated funeral home. We at Iams salutes both teams in tonight's game.
A salute to both teams in tonight's game from everyone at New Martinsville Giant Eagle. From one group of great people to another, go teams! Sounds Incredible Music Store and Recording Studio in New Martinsville offers instrument sales, repairs, lessons, a professional recording studio, and more. Call Sounds Incredible now about our winter specials.
Your kitchen and bath can be the most expensive rooms in your home to replace. That's why it's so important to visit Wheeling Distribution Center. The new showrooms offer you the widest selections for both kitchens and baths, and our experienced staff will help you with your decisions from start to finish. Starmark cabinets have one of the best warranties in the industry. So if your money is important, visit Wheeling Distribution Center. We're not a trade secret anymore.
Belmont Savings Bank. People you can count on for your next new car loan. We offer fair rates of interest and a repayment plan that's right for your particular needs. Stop in at one of our 4 convenient locations in Bel Air, St. Clairsville, Barnesville, and Powhatan. You'll be glad you did.
Belmont Savings Bank, we can share the dream.
WTOV9 is proud to salute outstanding students at Valley High School. This week we salute Stacia Rohde, varsity cheerleader, student council president, field commander. Daniel Lee Masters, football National Honor Society senior class treasurer. Cheryl Henthorn, National Honor Society TSA national finalist, steel band member. Josh Ingold, varsity football, baseball National Honor Society. Emily Boer, varsity cheerleader, National Honor Society TSA treasurer. WTOV9 salutes all the students at Valley High School.
At Biggio Ford Lincoln Mercury Team Toyota, we know folks such as yourself would like to see some of the old values in shopping for an automobile come back. Values like down-to-earth, friendly, and professional salespeople that take pride in helping you select the car or truck that's right for you.
We honor these values and will do the best we can to make your total automobile experience a pleasurable one. We know that our reputation rides with you. That's why at Biggio Ford Lincoln Mercury and Team Toyota,
satisfaction is standard equipment.
This week's WTOV9 High School Football Game of the Week between Valley and Magnolia is brought to you by Wheeling Distribution Center, Bill Forbes Chevrolet, Chrysler, Plymouth Dodge, Iams Funeral Home, Ormet Credit Union, Quality Aluminum Products, and Biggio Ford Lincoln Mercury Toyota.
Magnolia 28, Valley nothing. We're at halftime, and this is the Valley Lumberjacks marching band. And I've always admired this. As you watch their halftime presentation, you will notice that several members of the football team, attired in their football gear, are out there performing with their musical instruments. We send it down to the field. We'll be back with the third quarter kick on the Bill Forbes Chevy scoreboard. Magnolia leads Valley 28-0.
Now in our 62nd year, Iams Funeral Home is New Martinsville's only locally owned and operated funeral home. We at Iams salutes both teams in tonight's game.
Sounds Incredible Music Store and Recording Studio in New Martinsville offers instrument sales, repairs, lessons, a professional recording studio, and more. Call Sounds Incredible now about our winter specials.
Good luck to all teams in tonight's game. From the original PJ's Pizza, we're proud to be celebrating our 29th year. Original PJ's Pizza, New Martinsville, West Virginia.
Visit Industrial Lighting at our new location, 501 3rd Street along Route 2, for all your lighting and electrical needs.
Best of luck to the Valley Lumberjacks and Magnolia Blue Eagle students in both your academic and athletic endeavors. From Dr. Edward M. Watson, orthodontist.
Congratulations, News 9, for being the only Ohio Valley station to win Outstanding News Operation Awards in Ohio and West Virginia.
You have so many commitments in your life and so many decisions to make about your future and theirs, like buying a house, saving for college, making investments, or planning for retirement. At Ormet Credit Union, we're committed to knowing current trends in finance and committed to sharing these methods with our members to help you make better financial decisions. So whether you're college-bound, raising children, or planning for retirement, let Ormet Credit Union help you find financial success, because our commitment is you.
Magnolia 28, Valley nothing. Everything's going good for the Caesars tonight. The coach is happy, the quarterback's happy, and Mark Caesar, the two-time Kennedy Award winner's happy too, because he was named Pitcher of the Year for the Boston Red Sox farm team, the Lowell Spinners.
All right.
The Caesar family, a bunch of happy campers right now. I'll give you some statistics here in a minute. You know, you and I were looking at the schedules, and it's conceivable. I don't want to say likely, or it's conceivable that both of these two teams could run the table
the rest of the year
from here. And Magnolia has, you know, they've got some teams I think they can play. You don't want to get overconfident about anything, certainly. They got to go to St. Clairsville, which is off to a good start, and that's a pleasant surprise here in the Valley. And Tyler Consolidated is another club that has really shaking things up around here. But if Magnolia continues, and they are so fortunate to do what we're proposing here, and that's run the table, then they figure to be playing some home games somewhere in November. Don't rule out the Lumberjacks either. I mean, they got a game at Cameron later. Look at this. Magnolia is actually going to start at their own 10-yard line. I guess I can throw that chart out.
Yes, you can. Right there, you have to really do some subtracting there, George. Jamie Long finally tracked it down. Kickoff there, bounced around. Looked like it was going out of bounds, and then bounced back in toward the field over his head and did not cross that goal line stripe, so he had to pick it up and bring it back out to the 10-yard line. So the Blue Eagles are going to be starting now looking at 90 yards of green in front. That's a strange view for their offense.
Thanks to statistician Douglas Kane up here in the press box, who turned 36 years young on this Friday evening. All right, we've got a check for a sack we want to tell you all about here. For each sack recorded by either team, Kroger donates $50 to the OVAC.
They have exactly 0.
We haven't seen anything that looks like a sack tonight. Nobody's even come close to getting after Caesar.
No.
And if you sack Valley's quarterback, well, that's a real hard thing to do.
2nd and 5 for the Blue Eagles from the 15.
This could be one of those sackless affairs. Opening over the middle, and Valley's defense is certainly taking a beating here tonight.
Derek Palmer.
Here's some of the first half statistics, because neither team ran the ball well. Of course, Magnolia didn't have to run it very far. They only had 20 carries for 48 yards. So that's about 2.5 yards a carry. for Magnolia. Valley, this is uncharacteristic for them, 14 carries, 35 yards, and that's exactly 2.5 yards per carry. And we'll get back to some of the individual stuff here in just a moment. 1st and 10, Magnolia from its own 28-yard line. Caesar on that sneak. He doesn't waste any time firing up in there either.
No, he doesn't. And one thing, George, that we didn't get to mention there on that last carry by Derek Palmer, that he bumped back there into the tailback spot, and they put guard number 66, Danny Wright, as the fullback lead up there through on him there, as they really opened up a crease there in the Valley defense.
One of the big differences in the first half, the passing yardage. Magnolia completed 10 out of 17. Caesar 9 of 16, and they had the Rishardi here. Here is a big run, Palmer. Big time. Palmer on the move, the 40 to 30, still going. Palmer finally wheeled down at about the 10-yard line by Danny LeMasters.
Nice move, George, as he was dipping and moving along this sideline here. He was pinned in, made a nice dip move to the inside and got around the Valley defender, and then he saw that green sideline there. And luckily for the Lumberjacks, LeMasters took the correct angle at him there. And we'll take a little look at it right here. You see the play is designed to go over to the right side there, and there's nothing there. And Palmer just saw daylight to the outside here. Right here's a nice dip move.
Good block to the outside that you saw by 88 Chad Miller, who shoved the only guy that had a pursuit angle on him completely out of the play. Here he comes again. Bangs down inside the 5-yard line. This time it's Jamie Long. So Magnolia didn't waste any time coming from their own 10 down inside the Valley 5-yard line, where the Blue Eagles, leading 28-0, are looking for more.
Palmer got a quick breather there on that sideline. George coming back in the ball game now and replacing Jamie Long, and Jamie got a little limp there to him as he coming out of the ball game as Coach Dave's talking with him. Again, big number 66 lined up in that fullback spot. Danny Wright to lead the way.
Palmer, touchdown, I believe.
Yes.
His 4th of the evening.
Tim Wilcox there for the Lumberjacks making a hit, but it was too late as he dove across the line. We'll take a look at it right here. Again, going off tackle to the left-hand side with the big lead inside. He just bounces to the outside and drags the ball tackler and takes the ball across the line for 6.
Chad Anderson with a nice block, turned a defender to the inside. He was the fullback in the I formation. Caesar's kick. He's now 5 for 5. Magnolia 35. Valley nothing. It took all of 2 minutes and 17 seconds for the Blue Eagles to tack another one up on the board. You know, and this really, in a very painful way, is a good experience for Valley, Coach, because frankly, they need to play this type caliber opponent from time to time to get a real gauge of where they are. Frankly, if you play a lot of the small schools, if you're going to play 100 and some of those people, you just don't get a realistic gauge of where you stand sometimes. And I think that tonight they're finding out. But they're good. Valley is a good football team. Missouri, Ohio State later this afternoon at 3:30.
George, I was amazed at the point spread that the experts are putting on this ball game. I'm really going to be surprised.
Up in the 20s, 26, I believe.
26, 25 and a half. It just amazes me. I really believe that just gauge it from the game last year and the incentive that Missouri has going for them with the quarterback's dad being one of the assistant defensive line coaches passing away before the preseason there, that the Mizzou Tigers may come to town a little bit of fire in their eye, and Ohio State better be awake real quick with the upsets that have been happening around college football. They better be ready to play some ball right off the bat.
And with Penn State coming in next, you never know what kind of frame of mind you're in there.
That's exactly right. The good thing for the Buckeyes, they had that off week after this week to get ready for the Nittany Lions.
Magnolia up 35-0. We'll see if the Jacks can get something sustained on offense here against a defense that has just been stellar, to say the least.
Short kick.
And they'll cover up at the 28-yard line where the Jacks will put the ball in play down by a bunch.
Danny LeMasters covering there for the Lumberjacks at the 29-yard line.
I think what they need to do, and this is just an opinion right here, Ty, is I think they need to stick with their base offense and try and run it against a great defensive football team, and see what kind of yardage they can get. Because against most of their opponents, this thing is going to work and work flawlessly. But against Magnolia, you really got to snap it up, because these guys, as you can see, are coming firing through there. And there is a play by Jason, or not Stone King, rather Josh King.
And Matt Hott, number 72, coming from the inside there.
77 for Magnolia is King, and 77 for Valley is Stone King. No gain, 2nd down and 10 for the Jacks.
It's just that, George, you know, that Coach Caesar and his defensive staff have them, you know, well scouted. As you notice there, when the Lumberjacks come up here with everybody tight, look at that front up there for the Blue Eagles. Outside sweep.
Good stiff arm attempt right there, and close to first down yardage.
It is, George.
The ball carrier, Dave McDiffett. So that is something on which the Jacks can build right here, is a first down.
And that's one thing they're going to have to do more of, because of, as we were just speaking there, but as that play was being run, the Magnolia Blue Eagle defense, they're all inside the box right there. If he just makes this little move right here to the outside, the end got tangled up right there, and now he's one-on-one, going to pick up 8 yards of crack here. This will help spread the Blue Eagle defense out a little bit and open the middle up for Loy on some more of his bursts up the middle. There it is.
And if you watch the interior line play, if Magnolia is able to get at least a stalemate at the point of attack, then the play gains very little yardage. If Magnolia actually gets the push at the point of attack, then more likely Valley is going to get losing yardage on the play because of all the confined space. I mean,
you got a human dam there.
Exactly. And the key for Valley is to get some kind of a crack, an opening in that first line of attack, because usually the other side's got a lot of guys up around the line of scrimmage, and if they can get past the first 7 guys, then there's not much out there.
Come to the outside again.
Good defense, and another hit applied there by Josh King.
Hey, what, George, that young man is just a plain athlete. You know, we said he's 6'4", and he's carrying 220 pounds on that frame of his, and he moves extremely well right here. Watch him coming from the backside pursuit.
This might be one of the hardest hitting Magnolia teams that I've seen. I've seen all kinds of Magnolia teams, from a finesse bunch. I can recall back in the late 80s, they had a real solid defensive club that did not have big people, but they got around you like bees. This outfit just comes up and tries to knock your chin strap around.
Up the middle. Jonathan Loy.
Loy has found the going a little tough tonight. He had 12 carries for 34 yards in the first half, and not much running room to the inside thus far here in the third. Magnolia 35, Valley zip.
66, Danny Wright. 77, Josh King. 72, Matt Hott getting up on the bottom of the pile there. They've really done a stellar job in there for that 6-man front of the Blue Eagles.
So on 4th and 5, the punting unit comes on, and that means that Ingold, who has a pretty good foot both in terms of punting and place kicking,
kicks to Caesar.
Kicks it away. That's a nice punt. Comes down to Caesar at the 20-yard line. And Caesar is dragged down along the 30 after a return of about 10 yards. In fact, Ingold came into this game as the second leading scorer in terms of kicking amongst the small schools. He had 11 point-after attempts, and as you can see, amongst OVAC teams that trailed only partly of Cameron by 1, according to the newspaper statistics.
Well, there, George, that's just showing that 11 PATs are scoring a lot of touchdowns those first 3 ball games.
Here comes Magnolia on offense again.
New tailback in there for the Blue Eagles, Jeremy Cecil, giving Palmer a breather.
I see no reason why Magnolia would want to force the issue right here when they can get some fresh bodies out there and save it for later. Chad Smith is upfield for about 8 or 9. Well, it's not like Magnolia can do a lot of substituting.
No, they can't.
They don't have a lot of bodies to do it
right
with.
Here, we're looking at Jeremy Cecil, George, a 5'7", 160-pound sophomore. getting some playing time out here against his neighboring rivals.
Indeed, it was Cecil, the ball carrier. For a gain of 9, it'll be 2nd down and 1. And this game could go very rapidly to its conclusion from here, because it looks like Magnolia will be content to keep the ball on the ground, and Valley certainly almost exclusively a ground-oriented football team. So this second half could wrap up rapidly, to say the least, the way these guys are churning the clock down right here. Under 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Nice stop there by Tim Wilcox and Kenny Griffith. Cleaned up there by Josh Ingold. Going to bring up the first down for the Blue Eagles at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10. As you say, George, this second half is going to run by real quick. I don't believe you're going to see Coach Caesar really putting the ball in the air very much. He's going to let some of his young backs there get some time and some experience carrying the ball.
Cecil upended after a gain of 1 or 2. Magnolia 35 and Valley nothing. The Blue Eagles took advantage of some incredibly good field position following a series of Valley turnovers in the first half. Edison against Bel Air tonight, right here on your station for high school football, WTOV TV 9, immediately following the news. So some fresh-looking jerseys out there for the Blue at this point. There's a guy right there that's done a pretty good job, 66.
Yes.
Danny Wright. Danny Wright, yes.
But what the Lumberjacks are still going after him full tilt out there. There's not going to be any dying those young men. Mike Hiley coming there, really putting the old leather twanging up on the bottom of the pile.
I may have erred earlier on that one block that I was trying to give credit to 66 and may have inadvertently given it to the wrong guy. I can tell you this, that Danny Wright did throw a block down on Magnolia's last touchdown that was significant. 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. The Blue Eagles looking at a 3rd down and 6, ball at their 48.
Normally definitely a throw-in down here for the Blue Eagles. Instead, we're going to see Caesar keeping it to the outside here, and he's going down short.
Caesar needed one more block. 4th down and a yard. Did a good job of hiding the football initially. Good job to keep after it right there by Tim Wilcox of the Lumberjacks, who made the tackle. Fought off the blocking of Chad Miller, and that's not easy to do. Miller's a pretty good blocking wideout in this Magnolia offense.
Derek squatting down there, getting a little breather when he can.
Short of the 1st down by less than a yard, so we'll see what Magnolia elects to do here. Ball around midfield. Do they want to possess it or do they want to kick it?
I believe they're going to go for it, George.
Well, when you see 27 come back out there, then you know they mean serious business, because Derek Palmer has been the guy to carry the mail in that backfield. Scored 4 touchdowns in this football game.
Talking to his blocking buddy up front, Danny Wright, to make sure they're on the same page as to where they're going.
If you didn't know who Palmer was before tonight, I hope we've introduced him to you in grand fashion. Here he comes, 1st down.
There he goes.
On the go. Palmer tight ropes the sidelines.
I'm sorry, George. He just lost his balance going down that sideline, trying to get away from that last Lumberjack there, and just lost his balance, out of bounds. He's coming back to the bench here with a big grin on his face. Take a look at it right here, folks. You're going to see him right here. He just said, oops, I stepped on the line. He was running away from Ingold there for 6.
Jake Gump in pursuit. But another good block thrown there by Danny Wright. Very technically sound block by the fullback, turning the defender to the inside and allowing the tailback to get around the corner. Not this time for Magnolia, however, as Cecil is tackled after a very short gain.
Danny Boer from his defensive end spot there, coming in there, making the hit on him. That time he got off the block of the lead back there and got around him for a short gain of 1.
Well, there's been a lot of speculation, Ty, about the coaching futures of these two guys. I mean, you're talking about two coaches that have been around a long time. In Tom West's case, in coaching terms, he's been here an eternity and has the wins to show for it and the success and the track record. The question is how much longer. He's, I think, within 2 years of retirement from teaching, and that could mean that the show stops right about the turn of the millennium. No gain here by the fullback. And then you've got, also I want to point out that's a pretty unusual number right there for a fullback. Danny Wright's wearing a double sixes, but I think that there's been a lot of speculation in New Martinsville that this could be it for Dave Caesar. I asked him before the season started, Dave, this is the final year for your final kid. Will you be back? And I don't think he's necessarily totally committed to retirement. Coaches have their way of changing their minds sometimes when the prospect of how much they might miss it starts to get at them in the off season, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was the last show here at Magnolia for Dave.
Bubba there on the overthrow on the deep outside curl to Ricciardi. George, I tell you what, looks like a good ball game next week. We've done quite a few of them together, and we've always seen some good ball games, but the Big Reds annually have come out on top.
Is that you and me again next week?
No.
Well, it's at the fairgrounds, and an improved St. Clairsville team will meet the Bel Air Big Reds.
We're punting from the 28-yard line. Derek's going to try to pooch it, and it crosses the plane.
So they only pick up really 8 yards on change of possession right here. Valley will have the ball from its own 20. Only a minute 33 to go in the third quarter. Magnolia 35, Valley nothing. The Blue Eagles ambushed the Lumberjacks early. It was 14-0 after the first quarter, and 28-0 at the half. Magnolia adds a score in the third period, and that's what we're looking at, is a 35-0.
You know, George, we were talking about numbers. We see there's 12 seniors on this roster for the Blue Eagles, but in talking to several of their fans before the game, their hopes are real high as they have 26 freshmen on what they consider one of their real good crop of youngsters coming up.
And that's what could deter a coach from departure. You know, sometimes you look at that thing and say, maybe. You know, and the thing is, with a guy like Cease, he's still a young guy who is very much into it.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying? The only thing is now, though, he's got 4 kids who are out there. He's had, you know, at any one time, a couple of them involved in minor league baseball. I know that he would like to follow them as closely as possible.
College ball.
Yeah.
All right, up the middle.
Here is Loy. Not hard to pick him out in the crowd, is it? 6'1", 230. I don't know where they get these Moose lookalikes. Manier had the nickname Moose, and there's one after another. They have had some big, strong football teams here at Valley High School, and no one has enjoyed any more cumulative success in the 1990s. The only thing that is missing is that grand prize that has eluded them 4 times. And a tackle in the backfield. I believe that is McDiffett, who is...
Jason Knight and Derek Caesar cleaning him up there.
And that'll be the last play of the third quarter. 5 seconds and counting. There you see a look at Derek Caesar, who does not come out. He's in on every down, offense, defense, and special teams. After 3, Magnolia 35, Valley nothing. There it is on the Bill Forbes Chevy scoreboard. We'll be back with the WTOV 9 Game of the Week right after this.
3A Homes continues to measure up with over 30 years of satisfied customers and award-winning service. Let us exceed your expectations. 3A Homes, Route 2, New Martinsville.
At Biggio Ford Lincoln Mercury Team Toyota, we know folks such as yourself would like to see some of the old values in shopping for an automobile come back. Values like down-to-earth, friendly, and professional salespeople that take pride in helping you select the car or truck that's right for you.
We honor these values and will do the best we can to make your total automobile experience a pleasurable one. We know that our reputation rides with you. That's why at Biggio Ford Lincoln Mercury and Team Toyota,
satisfaction is standard equipment.
This week's WTOV9 High School Football Game of the Week between Valley and Magnolia is brought to you by Wheeling Distribution Center, Bill Forbes, Chevrolet, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Imes Funeral Home, Ormet Credit Union, Quality Aluminum Products, and Biggio Ford Lincoln Mercury Toyota.
Second down and 10, ball at the 30. I'm gonna say something here in a minute that is absolutely gonna floor you as we speculate who might be. Oh, some people in line. There's a mugging that took place right there.
Derek Caesar and Josh King. All right, go ahead.
Let us speculate as to who the successor to Dave Caesar might be here. All right, as we get another look at this.
Dave's still on the sideline.
I understand that, but it's got to
packing his bag for
just
him?
No, not at all. I'd love to see him come back. I hope he's here for another 10 or 15.
All right, go ahead.
But just in case he decides
take a vacation.
Take a vacation. I'm going to throw a couple names at him.
Go ahead. One.
Right. Obviously, Bob Ripley, who's been his longtime assistant, has a youngster that's in the 9th grade, would have to be the leading name that comes to mind
from
within,
okay.
right? If he would want the job, and there are those who in the press box here who speculate that maybe he wouldn't want to do this. I don't know. There's Mike Dawson, who was a star here and went on to the collegiate level and starred. And I don't know where Mike is today, but certainly his name would surface. He actually had a good run at 100 there for a couple of years. Todd Morris is another name that comes up here. But I'm going to throw a long shot shocker at you, okay? That would stun. The name will stun everybody that's listening to this broadcast. I'm just doing this for fun anyway, just to keep everybody entertained. Would the name Terry Snively shock you?
Yes.
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Number one, baby!
I won't go any further in trying to. That's just a wild thought.
Third down and 14, the ball about the 26-yard line.
But I know Snives is close to retirement in Ohio, too, but he would like to keep coaching. And geographically, you start looking on maps in West Virginia, where could he go? Oh, there's just wild speculation.
Shotgun. Caught! Derek Caesar.
By Caesar.
He's in the end zone. Valley lineman didn't realize the ball was caught. No one was going after him. Derek went up like a playing basketball there, George.
Valley had a guy wide open, and I thought that the ball went to him, but instead there was a dark jersey that, I still haven't gotten those glasses and contact lenses.
I know. Right there, look at it.
Yeah, you saw the receiver was open, but Caesar got up in the air, picked it off, returned it for a touchdown, and it's 41-0.
Caesar to attempt the extra point. We're starting to over.
High snap.
You think my buddy Chapman might be interested in this thing? The big fella from St. Mary's?
No good, George.
No good. He missed a kick.
High snap.
Oh. So it remains 41-0. You never know. The big guy could be a candidate for this.
On the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard. Magnolia 41, the Valley Lumberjacks 0. We'll be right back.
Now in our 62nd year, Iams Funeral Home is New Martinsville's only locally owned and operated funeral home. We at Iams salutes both teams in tonight's game.
Seasons change. The green grass in summer crimson and gold leaves of fall, crystal and white drifts of snow in winter, and the pastels of flowers of spring. Enjoy the beauties of nature through the comfort and security of Armaclad windows. Beauty built to last since 1874.
In 1998, PPG Industries and its workforce proudly celebrate 55 years of safe operations and chemical excellence, providing quality life to the Ohio Valley and quality chemicals for the world.
Congratulations, News 9, for being chosen Best Newscast in West Virginia by the Associated Press.
Hi, I'm Dan Shea at Wheeling Distribution Center. Are you thinking about siding? Well, we have siding, and more siding. And then there's your choice of colors. We have over 11 to choose from the wood look to double 4, double 5, and double 4 Dutch lap. Our selection is the largest in the valley, and our experienced staff can help you make the right choice for your home. Wheeling Distribution Center. We're in Wheeling and now New Martinsville.
At Biggio Ford Lincoln Mercury Team Toyota, we know folks such as yourself would like to see some of the old values in shopping for an automobile come back. Values like down-to-earth, friendly, and professional salespeople that take pride in helping you select the car or truck that's right for you.
We honor these values and will do the best we can to make your total automobile experience a pleasurable one. We know that our reputation rides with you. That's why at Biggio Ford Lincoln Mercury and Team Toyota,
satisfaction is standard equipment.
What, 41-0 Magnolia here early in the fourth quarter. And they've scored in a lot of different ways, shapes and sizes. And the guys with the stars on the helmets, they 41-0. But now that we've speculated all the different names and we throw Dave Chapman's name in there, and you suggested maybe the possibility that one of the Caesar boys would. Now that we've given the job to everybody within a 100-mile radius of here, Dave will watch this telecast and say,
"You're not taking my job away from me here at Magnolia High School. I've been here too long. You're not going to do that to me. I'm not giving it up."
That's the best impression of Dave that I can do.
The voice? All right.
Tried. Probably not very flattering. 41-0, 11:27 to go. I love talking to that guy, though. He's just such an interesting character. There aren't too many characters quite like Dave Caesar. And the kick.
Got inside the 5-yard line. Number 22, Luke Long, almost in a weaving.
Yeah, and Luke did a good job to bring that out. But virtually every play tonight, anyway, results in some pain at the end of the play for somebody in a white jersey. There have been some jarring hits out here in a 41-0 Magnolia runaway that, frankly, I didn't expect. Now, I thought that this game would ultimately come down to Magnolia and its defense and Valley, with the style of ball that they play, having some trouble moving the ball against this defense. I did not expect Valley to turn the ball over as much as they did in the first half and dig themselves the hole that they did.
And like George, like I mentioned to you there early in the ball game when we were off the air there, I had snuck a peek a couple weeks ago there. We sat down and watched some of the film of Monroe Central and Magnolia in the ball game, and I just was amazed at the contact and the get after this Blue Eagle defense has. You know, they shut out Monroe Central there a couple weeks ago, and they did some pretty good hitting that ball game. It just was amazing to me. These guys going both ways, and they're going at a full tilt from beginning to end.
Well, when you shut out a Jay Sircosta coached football team, then obviously you've got some people that are getting after it. And last year Magnolia won in dramatic fashion. I believe the game was played here. A great game that went down to the wire. That's 2 years in a row that they've knocked off Monroe Central. So, hey, look, this is a quality football team that just might make one more run at the. I'll tell you this, I bet you that Dave would retire if this team would have to win at all.
I'll tell you what, we've been through with him, George, in some of his heartbreak losses, especially when he was down in state there on some of them very unusual weather days that he had to play in.
They have lost 3 state championship games in most difficult fashion. Here's a first down for Valley, and still going out into their bench area on the far side of the field.
Wingback Danny Lamax is starting a little counter action. And George, we noticed there's an awful lot of clean pants out there on the defensive side there for the Blue Eagles, as Coach Caesar and his staff's getting some younger kids mixed in there.
If I were to speculate, though, the one that still hurts the most for Dave probably is that one that goes back to about 1981 when they lost to Sarita Canova and had that team beat. And I believe they were clear down inside the 5-yard line, and a pass got tipped and intercepted or something happened, and CK returned it like 98 yards, and that one had to really hurt. And then in 92, they were better, clearly better than Buffalo Wayne, and we played that game in a miserable downpour. And you wind up with, what, like a 7-6 ball game. And then the following year, they had a great first half against East Bank, only to see it unravel in the second half as both teams begin to substitute freely here tonight.
I think my clothes are still wet from that game down there that day.
Mine are still starched frozen because the next day I stood out there and watched Brook, and the temperature dropped about 45 degrees from the Magnolia game to do.
Look at this.
Good job. As the Blue Eagles are forced into a defense mode here against the pass, Tim Wilcox made the catch right there for Valley, and a first down in Magnolia territory. This is their deepest advance to the Magnolia 38-yard line.
Take a look at it right here as Josh Ingold goes back on after a play-action fake inside and throws the ball nice.
Single coverage to his man right here.
And let his man just wait on the ball to come down. See this penetration, of course, all night for the Lumberjacks. Lloyd there picking up George. Looked like a good 7-yard, 6-yard gain on that first down play.
Now this is how Valley's offense will generally function against a normal opponent. But Magnolia is not a normal opponent. No, they are an extraordinary opponent.
The applause you hear, folks, is for big number 77, Josh King, coming off the field from the Magnolia faithful here in front of us.
Second down and 6, and there's Loy. You can see that the space is so confined, Ty, that he literally tiptoes, into the hole. And then if there is an opening, it's Katie bar the door because there's nobody back there but small people to try to stop a 230, 240-pound load coming through there. The key for Valley is to break the first line of attack, because once they do that, then you get mismatches in the secondary against big running backs. But on this night, it has been all blue. They lead 41-0. 7:40 to go in the game. The big man high-stepping again. Loy inside the 25. Down to the 22.
Take a look at it here. We'll see big Jonathan Loy right here just pounding off tackle and running over some of the smaller Blue Eagles. Ball back him out there again, George.
Jeremy Beverlin was the victim right there of a steamrolling Jonathan Loy.
Play action.
There's a long ball, incomplete, receiver wide open. But the passing game is frequently a difficult exercise for Valley, which does not, they don't specialize in this area.
No, as you said, Danny Lemasters did break open there, and the ball just was out of his reach there. Bring up a 2nd and 10 now from the Blue Eagle 22-yard line.
When they do throw it, a defense sometimes is off balance, just it becomes an element of surprise.
Loy again.
Loy carrying tacklers. Good gain again on a 2nd down carry by Jonathan Loy. 7 minutes and counting. George Kellis and Ty Fleming from New Martinsville.
Take a look at it right here. There's that power offense that Valley fans have come to know throughout the years. The big fullback just running up through there and just dragging people with him.
As you watch that play, Ty, you may have noticed something that you and I were talking about before the game. The running back, there are so many bodies laying on the ground and so little space that you see them high-stepping and wading over top of people. It's a fascinating thing to watch. Even when the offense works, initially, that's what the running back is doing, is tiptoeing over top of people and then exploding into the secondary.
First and goal from just outside the 10-yard line for the Lumberjacks. 6:24 remaining in the ball game.
Ingold on a keeper. Ingold is dragged down after another gain of about 5 or 6 yards. So Valley hoping to get in. One of the rare stoppages of the clock here in the second half.
Georgia, there's not a clean jersey on the sideline for the Eagles to put in the ball game. I mean, they've cleaned it out. They've cleaned the bench and got out everybody that they can get out on the football field.
Well, that's the one thing you hope doesn't catch up with this team in a long season is the depth element, because they expect to be playing in November. Is that a touchdown?
That is a touchdown.
Indeed it is.
Jonathan Loy.
Loy finishes it off, and the Jacks get on the board with 6:09 showing in the ball game.
Loy hit about the 2-yard line, just dragging some of the younger Blue Eagles into the end zone with him. Appears
41-6.
Appears they're going for 2, George.
I see no reason why they should kick the extra point here. Ingold fires, and it's good for 2. No, he dropped the football. All right, we have 6:09 to go. Magnolia 41, Valley 6 on the Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard.
Now in our 62nd year, IAM's Funeral Home is New Martinsville's only locally owned and operated funeral home. We at IAM salutes both teams in tonight's game.
Little Green Acres Gift Shop, 1 mile out, West Virginia Route 7 in New Martinsville. The area's only exclusive dealer of Yankee candles and Cat's Meow. We also offer a huge inventory of concrete fountains and lawn ornaments.
Good luck to all teams in tonight's game. From the original PJ's Pizza, we're proud to be celebrating our 29th year. The original PJ's Pizza, New Martinsville, West Virginia.
You have so many commitments in your life and so many decisions to make about your future and theirs, like buying a house, saving for college, making investments, or planning for retirement. At Ormet Credit Union, we're committed to knowing current trends in finance and committed to sharing these methods with our members to help you make better financial decisions. So whether you're college-bound, raising children, or planning for retirement, let Ormet Credit Union help you find financial success, because our commitment is you.
Lisa Shepard would like to wish both teams in tonight's game good luck. State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For over 40 years, Riggenbach has been the first choice for tile and carpet. Good luck to all the players, cheerleaders, and band members this season.
Best of luck to the Valley Lumberjacks and Magnolia Blue Eagle students and both your academic and athletic endeavors. From Dr. Edward M. Watson, orthodontist.
More and more often, we're being forced by insurance companies to take our clients' cases to jury trials. If you've been injured in an accident or at work, give our law firm a call. We're not afraid to take your case to a jury. We'll get justice for you.
This week's WTOV9 High School Football Game of the Week between Valley and Magnolia is brought to you by Wheeling Distribution Center, Bill Forbes Chevrolet, Chrysler, Plymouth Dodge, IAM's Funeral Home, Ormet Credit Union, Quality Aluminum Products, and Vigio Ford Lincoln Mercury Toyota.
Magnolia 41, Valley 6. 6:09 to play in this one. We'll see what the Jacks have in mind here. I don't know if they would consider an onside kick or just kick it off and get on with the proceedings. So at this point, the horse is out of the barn. You might as well see to it you don't get anybody injured. You figure you're going to win a lot of games. This is another playoff caliber team for Valley. I would not be doing anything tricky here. I think that's a good idea to just kick it away and play
Derek
ball.
Caesar.
Bubba on the move. And he is chopped down by one of the Jacks.
Number 7, Caesar, the ball carrier on the kickoff return. Stop was made by number 15, Jake Gump.
I might be, if I was Dave, a little reluctant to leave
George,
his franchise guy out there, but
I don't think he has another quarterback.
I think he better find one.
I mean, I really don't think that. I know in the program he doesn't listen, and talking to Dave earlier before the game, his depth at quarterback is 1.
Oh boy! And they would hope to get 14 games out of that one.
Yes.
Chad Miller would be the backup.
Well, in pre-game, I saw Jonathan Ricciardi taking a couple snaps.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you might as well give it to one of your athletes back there if you get in a bind and let them do what they have to do. The one thing is, this is not as wide open as some of the other Magnolia offenses that I've seen in the past. I mean, they've spread the thing and run flea flickers and everything else over the years. And this team is a bit more of a high school type offense, and what makes it dangerous is the element of the run or the pass from this quarterback, Derek Caesar. They'll do a lot of running at the line of scrimmage with him.
And the athletes that are doing it.
Yes. I like the way they've tailored this thing to their personnel.
Yes.
They've done a good job of that at Magnolia here this year.
Take a look right here as Jeremy Cecil making a nice run up the middle. Again, he's following the block of Danny Wright.
That kid has just done a brilliant job tonight, Danny Wright. He does all the right things,
Ball
if you'll
coming
excuse
out.
the play on words. But he's done all the right things in terms of how he positions himself to block people.
Using the correct shoulder and getting the head in the correct position.
They have 28 freshmen, which feature a 2-0 football team at the present time, Magnolia. That's nice numbers at that level right there. This is Cecil. Wonder how the 8th grade, they don't even have 7th and 8th grade ball. That's the thing. We never had that.
Neither did Valley.
Well, that's a county thing. And I think that's good and bad. The good is that these kids don't get burnt out on football early. You know, you may get that at some places. The bad thing is, though, is that you really got a lot of training and on-the-job training for your freshman group. Peyton City does have 7th and 8th grade ball. Okay. I get an education. What is your name, my sweet? Tell me, please. No, come on. I want to tell everybody your name. Hey, who can tell me who this is?
George is getting all the information here.
I think you deserve the credit. You're getting. Please, somebody tell me. What's this? Does anybody know?
No one's telling
Apparently.
you. It's because she's threatening everybody.
Dave will kill me. Oh, I'm sorry. I won't. Okay, well, we won't. She's cute. She's been here 26 years, and she's got red hair, Dave. A lot more hair than you do, pal. What am I laughing at?
Hey, you still got C's in the hair department.
Not by much. 4:20 to go here in the ball game. 41-6 Magnolia.
As we see Coach Caesar out there emphasizing to his young people to do their job and do the job right.
Magnolia on a 2nd down and 9. Second man through. Cecil. And there's
be close.
Gaping holes up inside now.
There's going to be an awful lot of
checks for a sack. 0. That's a donut. From, however, to date,
$800.
$800. That's what my math's right, about 16-6. Sam Mumley smiling for the year, but frowning for the evening.
Yes. 3:45 remaining in the ball game as the Blue Eagles are methodically driving down the field now down to the 35-yard line behind the running of sophomore Jeremy Cecil. Uh-oh.
I'll tell you what, we're going to have to pick some players of the game, and I've got 2 candidates for Magnolia. I think we're going to have co-players because I mean, obviously Derek Caesar's done everything here, but I really think that the performance of Derek Palmer scoring 4 touchdowns, putting some hits on people that were scary, that guy's got to get something. And Jonathan Loy would be your man from Valley. I don't think there's any question.
George,
there.
I'm also going to throw in.
Well, there's 4 or 5 guys.
That line for the Blue Eagles.
On both sides of the football, they've done a job here.
They've controlled the ball game with that line of scrimmage. And you control that line of scrimmage 99 out of 100 times, you're going to come away with the win.
Cecil, the ball carrier. The whistle blows with 2 minutes and 50 seconds and counting. I think I heard them say something about Weirton 35, Brooks 6, and I think the Red Riders are beginning. Listening to the scores on the loudspeaker here, but I get the impression that Weirton may be starting to assert themselves
just a little bit.
Class AA, and DuPont. Let me tell you, it's important for Weirton to get a win like that because DuPont is big time. And I'm sorry, these are the fourth quarter statistics. Oh, scores.
Look at Monroe and River.
34-0. Of course, you'll all know these results by the time you watch this.
News to us, though. Dover and St. C's hasn't changed. Buckeye all over Eau Glen. The Weir Brook surprised me.
Well, and I'll tell you why that's important for Weirton, because Brook last year got whacked around pretty good by DuPont in the playoffs in AAA. And DuPont's down in AA this year with basically the same cast. But Weirton also has the same cast they had last year. So we're trying to get a gauge around the state. This is what you run into if you're Magnolia, is that you've got a year where there is an excessive amount of quality around the state. There's a fumble recovered by the Valley Lumberjacks, and they'll have possession of the ball with 1:28. But if there is a classification in West Virginia that's really loaded this year, it's definitely Class AA. You've got the likes of this Magnolia club right here. We know what Weirton can do. DuPont is out there. Obviously, East Bank is lurking someplace. So you've got a lot of teams that have to be dealt with right here. Just kind of glancing through this. Bluefield, the defending champions, they're 2-1. Mount View, which is a former AAA school, is 3-0. Tyler Consolidated, what a job John Stender and company have done this year. Undefeated coming into Friday night's activity.
Oh, there's our first one, and the ball's loose.
Was that a sack?
Yes, that was definitely a sack.
By golly, the OVAC will get something out of this, and I believe that was Josh King.
Again, be his third fumble recovery of the night.
He's scary. And this guy's a junior. He's 6'4", 220. Let's see the play again and see if we can.
No, the fumble was caused by the sack. Right here you see Josh Engel back. Here comes the pressure from the outside. There's one. There's two bringing him down.
That is a sack.
That's a sack. Yep. Jeremy Cecil will be credited with it.
And a fumble. And Magnolia will take a knee. What the heck? We can get into Eddie McCauley's pocket for $50, can't we?
Oh, yeah.
He's my man. Eddie, fork it up, pal. 50.
Coach Caesar, they're just going to run the clock out now.
1 minute. St. Mary's will be here, I believe, next week, and Dave Chapman will bring his Blue Devils.
And Valley will travel to one of their other year-in, year-out rivals, George, as they go to Cameron next week, don't they? And the Cameron ball club's playing awful well this year.
That's exactly right. Well, those are two tough ones back-to-back to have to play at Magnolia and at Cameron the way those Dragons have started out this year. So the long-awaited battle of Wetzel County rivals will come to an end. And Magnolia,
the ball is put in play, George, and that'll be the last snap of the ball game.
And that'll do it. Time runs under 10 seconds, and they do not have to take another snap. Magnolia beats Valley. (41-6). Players of the game. Okay, again, our players of the game, Derek Palmer, Derek
and
Caesar.
Derek Caesar for the
double D's for Magnolia. And
I would
Jonathan
have to say
Loy,
the big man running the ball inside all night, taking a pound in there. George did a good job from his linebacker spot defensively, number 25. Jonathan Loy
for Valley.
Well, folks, we'll
wait until
talk to you tonight as we get.
Yes, that's right. We'll be back at them.
Back at it with the Bel Air Big Reds and the Edison Wildcats doing battle at 11:30 tonight on TV 9. High State game comes on there at 3:30
this afternoon as you're looking at this.
So get off the couch, get a couple more chips into you, and get a fresh Coke. Get ready for the Buckeyes.
Or Pepsi, or beer, or milk.
Or tea.
Whatever your favorite.
Whatever. Get ready. Get comfortable sitting there. And George, notice tomorrow night, don't forget at 11:30, the annual Sports Sunday with the Dawn, the Nacho Man.
Dawn Sloan and a wrap of the weekend activities. There's One Happy Bird.
Great movie on George Sunday at noon. The Jagged Edge.
That's one of those thrillers that'll keep you on the edge of your seat.
Followed by the golf from Columbus, Ohio, the Solheim Golf Club at 3 o'clock.
Now we'll get a chance to see the players of the game. There you go. The Derrick brothers, Caesar and Palmer of Magnolia, Jonathan Loy of Valley, the Red Donley Scholarship players of the game in honor of our late compatriot, Red Donley. And checks for a sack, there were 1. So that'll do it.
Have a good
afternoon.
afternoon.
It is. For each of those sacks, all 1 of them, Kroger will send a $50 check to the Ohio Valley Athletic Conference, and the update of the cash as follows: $850 compliments of the 17 sacks administered by our Ohio Valley football stars in 1998. We'll post the final Bill Forbes Chevrolet scoreboard for you. There you have it. For Ty Fleming, this is George Kellis saying so long from New Martinsville for this edition of high school football on WTOV TV 9. The final again, Magnolia 41, Valley 6. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Cable channels, 300 satellite channels, movie channels, sports channels, home shopping channels, home videos, rented videos, video games. There's so many different things to watch on TV. What's made Cash Explosion the most watched program in Ohio at 7:30 every Saturday night for the past 10 years? Tune in this Saturday and find out for yourself.
Saturday night at 7:30 and News 9 tonight at 11 on WTOV 9.
News 9, 24.